Let's create our new page. So inside the pages directory, I'm creating a new dot file. The name should be search result page, and I'm taking this as a stateless widget to test whether our provider package can manage our state without the help of stateful and set state or not. So stateless, and the name should be search result page, and I'm importing material.dirt. And in order to go from search page to search result page, we have few options. Flutter provides us some navigation process, and if you go to the official documentations, docs.flutter.dev, and if you go to the user interface section, you will get a whole navigation and routing section over here. And if you go inside the navigation in Flutter section, then you will see the basic navigation that we can apply to navigate through widgets is by using a material page route object. So if you want to go to a next page or next widget, you just simply call a navigator.of and push method that will actually push a new page over the previous page. And in the material page route constructor, you need to define a builder function, and from that function you need to return the screen or widget that you want to go. So this is the normal procedure, but we don't want to use this procedure. Instead, we will use the named routes. That means for every route we have a name, just like we use path in the browser to navigate web pages. So whatever screens or widgets we have, we need to specify a corresponding string or path that will lead us to that corresponding widget, so that we don't need to specify every time the widget. Like this one, we just specify the route name here, a string, and Flutter will match the string with the corresponding widget and launch that widget. And to do that, we need to add an argument in the material app widget, which is a routes argument, which is technically a map of string and function that returns a widget. And we need to specify the combination of route name and the widgets. To do that, let's just go to the main.dirt file here, and below the home argument I am declaring a routes argument, which is a map. And inside this map, we need to specify the string as the keys and the values as the functions that returns a widget builder. So what will be the keys for every page? That I have defined in the constant.dirt file. For every pages we may need in this project, I have declared the route names. For example, for the search page, the route name should be search, and the constant variable is route name home, because search page is the home page currently. And for the search result page, this will be the key and this will be the variable. So go on for the login page, sit plan page, etc. So we have all the keys available inside the constant.dirt file, and now I will use every one of them to define the routes. So in the main.dirt file, the first route will be for the search page. So the key will be route name home, and to this key we have a function that takes a constant, and we will return our search page. And we need to define our second route, that means route name search result page. For this route name, we will actually return our search result page. Since we have only 2 pages right now, I'm leaving this route map like this. And whenever we create a new page, we need to come back to this main.dirt file and add the route accordingly. So now let's go back to our search page. And now this is the time we go to the search result page, and we will take some parameters with us. So to go to the next page, we use the navigator class. So navigator dot push named. Because we are using the named routing, that's why push name method I'm selecting. So push named, we need to pass the context and the route name, and the route name is route name search result page. So if I do this, or if I leave it right now like this, and I go to the search result page and just return something meaningful like a scaffold and an app bar, which is an app bar, and a title, constant text, which says search results. And let's just run this application so that we can check whether we are able to navigate to the next page or not. Let's select the cities first. Let's select the date. And whenever I am clicking the search button, as you can see, we have navigated to the search result page. But as you can see, there is no indication that we have brought this route object and the departure date object with us in this page. So we need to pass this route object and departure date to the next page. But how we are going to do that? The normal way of passing argument is through the constructor argument, but we are actually constructing the next search result page widget to a different file. That means in the main.dart file. So Flutter will actually match this route name in this route map, and whatever route matches, it returns the specific widget. And we cannot actually pass the route object and the departure date variable to the main.dart file. We can actually do that, but it will not be appropriate. So we need to consider another options to pass arguments, and the option is very simple. If you look carefully at the function definition here, so push named function takes a context that we have passed here, takes a route name that we also have passed here, and push name function also accepts an argument, a named argument, which takes any object. So for the third parameter arguments, we can pass actually anything we want. We can pass an integer, we can pass a double value, we can pass a boolean or any type of object. But only we can pass one variable because this is just one argument, one parameter. So I need to pass two arguments, route and the departure date. So I cannot just write like this, write and departure date, because this is two arguments, but this only takes one object. So what to do? The simple solution is pass a collection, and inside collection we can actually add as many objects as we can. So in this collection, at the index 0, we pass the route object, and in the second index we pass the date but as a string. So I am calling the get formatted date method once again and passing the departure date. So now whenever we are actually navigating to the next page, we are taking a list with us also. And now it's time to get back this list in the search result page. And we are inside a stateless widget, and the only lifecycle method we have is a build function. So we need to receive the argument inside the build function, and of course before returning the scaffold. So inside the build function, I will take the argument list. So I'm naming it as arg list, and I will use a modal route object for that. So modal route dot of context dot settings dot arguments, which returns an object, but we didn't pass an object, we passed a list. So I need to convert this object as a list, and we need to add a null check symbol after the context. So in this way we can pass any argument as a list or single object, and we can actually receive the argument uh, by the help of model route object. And now we have the arg list. Now it's time to retrieve the route object and the departure date. So final bus route, and we know that the route object is at index 0, and the departure date string departure date, that will be inside at index 1. So now we have the route object and the departure date object, and let's just run this code. But before I do that, I want to make sure that we have successfully carried our arguments with us in this page. To do that, for now, I'm just concatenating the departure date string with the app bar text widget, and since it's a variable, we cannot use the constant keyword anymore. And now if I press the hot restart button once again and select the cities, select the departure date and go to the next page, and as you can see, we have successfully carried our departure date as well as bus route object with us. So in this page, we want to make another query. We have the bus route object, and now we need to show the list of schedules that matches this specific route, and we will make the query from this bus schedule or table schedule list, and we will retrieve only those schedules that actually matches a specific route. So see you in the next video.